Well, welcome, welcome, welcome to everybody. We made it through the first day. It certainly was Critical Care Without Borders. And Mavilda, Sapna, Tex, thank you for joining us. We're just going to have a little recap here, and we're going to think about, we had, 2,100 registrants from 100 different countries. We were all excited to start the day. And I just want to, maybe I'll start off, and then we'll pass it around and talk about something that tweaked us, that surprised us, stimulated us. For me, it started out the day with high expectations, and Robbie Kamani, who was doing the Kavanaugh lecture, was talking about SILI, S-I-L-I, so really talking about self-inflicted lung injury. And it really, I think, pushed the barriers and made me think more about spontaneous breathing, the driving pressures, and the differences of how we think about lung injury induction now compared to how we did about 10 years ago. And then we sort of moved in to the sepsis phenotypes. So Tex, I saw that you had Joe Carcillo, Hector Wong, Suchitra Ranjit, all on the ropes. You were moderating that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that session? How did that one go?
Well, I think I was getting carried away because I was so excited to see my friends for the first time. And it was almost surreal because I thought I was in the same room with them carrying on. Before I tell you about the sepsis, I want to just say that I was really pleasantly surprised how easy it is to navigate throughout the entire program, to go from exhibit hall to wander around the place, to go to sessions, etc. I am a Luddite, and I think anybody can do it. It was very, very well designed. And I must say overall,
you're no Sapna. If you can do it, anybody can do it, Tex.
Yeah. And the scientific program, Veena, you have to take a lot of credit. The scientific program, the depth and breadth of the scientific program is amazing. So in the session with sepsis, here is it. We had Joe Carcillo, who spoke about different phenotypes based on organ failure. So you had macrophage activating syndrome, you had thrombocytopenia associated, et cetera, et cetera. And what he did, he said, basically he was trying to lay the groundwork that sepsis is such a hodgepodge and so very complex that a patient with sepsis, if you got 10, there are 10 different patients. And we have to start thinking of personalized medicine when we approach these patients. So here is it, he laid that groundwork. And then Hector came along and even added another brick to the wall. And it was brilliant when Hector spoke about the issue of the genetic implications of sepsis, the different genes that are implicated, and how, again, you are able to either identify those with sepsis, you can prognosticate those who are going to have do poorly, and you can have outcome measures. So then again, he also pointed out something that has really been a bane of our existence, the issue of steroids or no steroids in sepsis. And he showed there are some patients in which steroids are going to be bad and they'll do poorly, and some they may be better for it. Then you leave that and you come to Suchitra, who again busted a lot of myths of this thing, warm versus cold shock, and how we really need to think about multimodal monitoring and what is the relationship between mean arterial pressure and cardiac index or cardiac output. The bottom line is that there was something for everyone there. There was a lot of hope also, because at the end of the conversation, I had 3 emails of individuals who wanted me to introduce them to these guys, individuals, including our own center, who are working in Uganda, Tanzania, and resource-poor countries to collect genetic material, because while it is not ready for prime time, that is where it may have the best bang for your buck. So I saw that session bringing the world together with some thing that was for everyone. And I think that that is what really sort of really gave me chills. I know I could continue, but I'll stop there.
Yeah, I'm
because I-
glad you're going to stop. Let somebody else talk. But Tex, I think the other thing that came out in that session, I think that was a little surprising, was I think Joe was saying that with pretty simple measures like the CRP and the platelet count,
Mhm.
he said that the ferritin, perhaps,
Yep.
that one, you can detect this in a pretty resource limited setting, and two,
Yep.
that because of the viral triggers in low and middle income countries, that the incidence of the viral infection followed by bacterial infection and subsequent HLH is actually more common
Yep.
in middle income countries
Yep.
than it would be in developed countries. So I thought that was pretty.
Yeah, and I think you're right, and that has a lot of implications. But two things: there's still a lot to unpack with the ferritin there, mainly because many of the patients are anemic, and they think that anemia has an overlay in the ferritin levels in India, and that's what the people were positive there. But secondly, in most parts of the world, there viral sepsis is more common, and as you realize, one of the questions I was raising was the issue of how does this all tie to one of the biggest threats in the world, according to the WHO, top 10 threats, antimicrobial resistance, and how can we tease out bacteria versus viral. So there's a lot more. This is exciting, and I simply can't wait for the next few days and the next conference.
Tex, let's turn it over on the panel. So let's go to Sapna next. Sapna, and then we're going to come back to Mavilda, because I think, Mavilda, you might want to talk about some of the moral distress stuff. So,
yes.
how about you? What was exciting? Did you get asked a question that kind of tweaked you or is going to lead to something new?
Oh, so many questions. So I literally have been sitting in this seat for 13 hours riveted. I left to grab a cup of coffee and grab some food intermittently, but it started with, obviously with the opening, which was so exciting. And just like Tex said, this is new to us, right? We're used to being all together in person, and it was still an extraordinary experience. The kickoff, it felt like we're all together. And, obviously I have to give a shout out to the social media initiative that WFPICCS has done a wonderful job with. And then it started with my plenary right after Rabi Kamani's talk. And just to see the number of people who are signing on, becoming newly engaged #PedsICU followers across the globe. I mean, that's the coolest thing about this conference.
We kind of screwed up because of all things not to have as a live presentation. We need to have the social media one as a live presentation.
All good. I think people ended up finding it, but the beauty is it's pre-recorded. So it's recorded. So if you want to watch it, you can watch it any given time, figure out how to get engaged. So I think that's really set the stage nicely for us to see the full gamut of the people who are out there networking, connecting, sending photos of their setup of the Congress. Some people were holding their children, their dogs, their cats, their different locations. So that was just cool to see, because we don't often get to see our colleagues in their home settings, right? So, or their office settings, et cetera. So that started. And then, I literally just 15 minutes ago finished the sedation and analgesia plenary session with my extraordinary colleagues. And I think the entire day essentially was interwoven around the theme of sedation and analgesia, or at least for me. So I was part of the complex care of critically ill children, or a complex critically ill children session. I also did a workshop with Karen Chung and Daniel Garros, focused on optimizing the environment for rehabilitation, and then finished with sedation and analgesia. So the interweaving themes are that there are so many different approaches to the same thing. But what was really cool to see was that everyone across the board truly understands the importance of the interplay of sedation, sleep, delirium, ICU rehab, and family engagement as a complex interplay that we need to tackle together. And the questions were just so just really exciting. Like, people were asking about things like pet therapy, but they were asking also about moral distress of providers in complex care situations. People are really tuned into sleep hygiene and sleep promotion, but not just sleep hygiene and sleep promotion, but the importance of optimizing a child's routine, trying to match what they were doing at home when they become critically ill, like not trying to reinvent the wheel when a child is hospitalized. Asking the question, when does your child go to sleep? When do they take a nap? When do they eat breakfast in the morning? people really want to get back to that less is more approach, that, you know, giving more medicine is not the answer, that there are so many things we can do as a staff and an interprofessional staff. And I'll finish by saying the interprofessional discussions that are occurring in each and every one of these sessions is just spectacular. You know, I think as a peace critical care community, we understand the importance of everyone coming to the table and valuing each other's expertise.
Well, that's great. And you mentioned less is more. And I think that was really the theme of Jerry Zimmerman's critical care medicine presidential speech.
Correct.
And tomorrow morning, Jerry Zimmerman, as the first opening plenary, is going to be giving a PICU of the Future lecture.
Fantastic.
So tie-in for tomorrow. I'm going to turn it over to Mavilde, and I'm going to ask Mavilde to maybe speak a little in Portuguese and Spanish. But just before I do that, Tex and Sapna and Mavilde, after Mavilde has a chance to tell us about what she learned today or what was exciting for her, I'm going to ask you in one word to capsulate today as we sign off. So just think of a word that captures today. Mavilde?
Yes, it was an amazing day, a full day, beginning to learn how to use the platform, and then want to go to all presentations and have the idea that we have months ahead to go to all presentations again. And this is a good thing in this format that I think that in the next one that we hope we will be together. Yes, I will change. Yes,
Spanish,
I will change.
On.
Yes, I hope that we can keep this format something in the near future in the next conference. Okay, I'm gonna speak on moral distress in Portuguese, in Spanish. Okay. Yo voy a hablar sobre lo que me tocó mucho en este día, que se fue a habla de profesora Cinda Huston de Estados Unidos, que habló de estrés moral. Y una palabra que achei muy linda, que se fue una kintsugi, que es un concepto de se quebrar un vaso y de se concertar en Japón. En Japón se usa un concepto de se concertar un vaso que se quebró con oro y transformarlo en un vaso más lindo, diferente, es mejor do que el vaso que había antes. Así, en este momento de pandemia en el mundo, lo que estamos viviendo como profesionales de salud en nuestras unidades de terapia intensiva, el sufrimiento moral que tenemos de no ter. En Latinoamérica no tenemos muchas veces recursos para trabajar las personas que necesitamos para trabajar, para cuidar de niños en estos momentos. Así, este concepto me tocó mucho, que hallamos más fuertes, que tenemos en el sufrimiento, en este momento de sufrimiento mundial que tenemos ahora, que salgamos mejores y fortalecidos de esto. ¿Sí? Yeah. Finish, yes.
So in this moment, if I understood correctly, are you saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger?
Yes. Okay. That we go stronger in this moment of suffering in the world with the pandemic, that we learn and we became better. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Tex, I'm going to start with you. What's your word? What would you say is the word that characterizes today for you?
It's rejuvenating.
Rejuvenating. Excellent. How about you, Sapna?
Electric.
Electric. And you, Mavilde?
It's a sharing. It's a sharing.
Sharing. And for me, spectacular. It was really spectacular today, and I think it's going to be more spectacular tomorrow. Yes. So thank you guys for giving us your choices, what you love and what you're looking forward to. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early, and then we'll close up the day tomorrow with a similar kind of thing.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you all. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.